We are live. All right, so we got Joey. Okay, I'm gonna not butcher your name, Langenbrunner.
Perfect. It's like exactly how it sounds. It's like the most intimidating like last name, other than like if you're from like Iceland or something like that.
Finland,
Like,
yeah,
it's,
right.
yeah,
Exactly.
like so we're up there. It's like this long list of numbers. Like, do you have any vowels? But
Right.
like
Like, how
my
do you
last
say
name has
7
like
consonants in a row? Like, my face
right,
won't do that.
right, and my last name actually has like a lot of vowels. So like it sounds like very intimidating. But if you just like sound it out, it's like, oh, those actually easy. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
No,
All right, now.
it felt comfortable coming out of my face hole. It was good. Thanks, your parents. So yeah, Joey, thanks for coming on. You know, I Jimmy started like raving about, like, he's like, hey, you have this show, it's gonna be nuts or whatever. So, you know, yeah, if you could, like, 30,000-foot view, and then we'll you know, get all the way down the rabbit hole. You know, what basically have you set up? What are you doing?
Yeah, so you know, as you and you're probably, you know, like a lot of your listeners know, like the country of El Salvador, they made Bitcoin like legal tender,
Right.
and everyone's like, "What the hell? Like this is cool." It just kind of came out of like left field, and then like basically just everyone I knew in the Bitcoin community, and like I'm currently based in Miami, just like everyone I know, like who just moved to like
dude,
Miami.
we're gonna have to get a beer. I usually live. I'm in Tampa right now, but I freaking live down there.
Oh, you were in Tampa? I literally just moved from Tampa.
Oh man, that's cool. Yeah, I'll be back. I'll be back in Miami. We actually live a little bit north in Hollywood, but yeah, Miami's where that's. So yeah, we'll have to. And actually, I think like and like, well, sorry for the digression, but a lot of people are now, like Ken Bozak, a few other people. We've been like trying to boot up a meetup for a while. So like now it's like we got to just freaking do it, get it done. Yeah. Anyway, so you're in Miami.
Yeah. So anyways, just like everyone I know who just moved to Miami for like all this Bitcoin stuff, like they're all now talking about moving to like El Salvador. And it's just like this weird thing where everyone's just like kind of curious, like, that'd be kind of cool. You know, we can buy like, you know, some tacos on the beach with like some sats using lightning payment, blah, blah, blah. Like that's the life, you know, like Miami's cool, you know, like all this stuff's going on, but like that sounds exciting, that sounds exotic. And I'm like, huh. So a lot of people are thinking about moving down there. Let's start a freaking immigration agency down in El Salvador, and where you can pay with Bitcoin to get residency. And then of course, like the president's talking about, you know, like selling like the freaking passport. I'm like, that would be cool. Like being like a citizen of like the first Bitcoin country.
Right. Like Estonia. There's been a few people that have done that, and it's such a good idea.
Yeah, like it is just really, really cool. And then like all these Bitcoiners are starting to get like Caribbean passports, or like moving to Portugal and getting like what does it call it? Like the golden visa down there. You know, it's like if you haven't moved to like Miami, like you're going overseas and go to Portugal because like they have like tax-free on crypto and stuff like that. And now like this whole like El Salvador thing is just like taking it to like the next whole level of just like, yo, this is our currency. What's up?
Yeah. That's incredible. All right. Well, how, like, so basically, so run me through it again. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, you're basically setting up a system to make it easy for people to get down there.
Yeah, because I mean, like most of our clients are from, you know, like the US and Canada and like Europe, like so far. You know, we haven't started marketing, you know, like in Asia yet, but you know, like a lot of these people, like they don't know much about like Central America. You know, like they've,
right.
you know, they probably know some more things about like, let's say like Panama or maybe like Costa Rica or like Mexico, but like El Salvador, like nobody knew what El Salvador was until like this came about. And I actually went there. So like I actually went down there twice, you know, and we were able to like meet some people in the government and stuff like that. They're like super open. All of them are like orange pilled, you know, it's kind of like the term that everyone's using. And it's just like a whole completely different world. Like sure, like Miami is amazing. You know, we have the mayor of Miami that's like, you know, like orange pilled, of course, but like this is just like every government official is like orange pilled, and it's just like a bunch of mayor of Miami is everywhere you know, like everywhere you go. And I'm just like, this is on a whole nother level. Like this is insane. Like I've been like in the crypto community for like such a long time, and this is just freaking fascinating because like
it's like gotten to that point where everybody else is starting to figure it out, and that's just exciting.
Right. And then you saw like I think it was like a month ago where I'm like I don't know, what was it, like Central African Republic is adopting Bitcoin as legal tender, and I'm just like, I've never heard of that country before.
Right. And yeah, suddenly they're on this new map in like the international, Uber nation of Bitcoin.
Right. And then you got like the island nation of Tonga, which is out like in the South Pacific or something like that. Like the prime minister or president or whatever is like on Twitter, like all about this, like, yo, we're adopting Bitcoin as like legal tender. I think they're gonna do it like in November of this year, and I'm just like a third country. And then meanwhile, like all crypto prices are going like this, and I'm just like, you got like nation states adopting like Bitcoin as legal tender, and you're selling your Bitcoin. What are you doing?
Right. Well, and this is the thing. Like, I think, like, I mean, there's no rhyme or reason to sort of institutional buyers that are going to be like doing things emotionally. They've been doing it since the beginning of time, whatever. Right. And now, sadly, I think that the institutional money that's come in, we're sadly starting to see it as like a risk class that's tied to traditional markets, right? Like,
absolutely.
Like I just would really prefer an inverse relationship to that, but that it's and maybe that comes at some point, maybe not, or whatever, right? But I think if we're moving kind of with the markets, I mean, yeah, and I mean, like, the Bitcoin thing now too. I was talking about this morning. Like, you look at the long-term trend, right? And like, you're a Bitcoiner, you know what's up. Like, you look at the annual lows, and you never look back. Right, like every once in a while, the annual lows kind of stay the same. The rest of the time, they're freaking 10xing, right? Like, this is how this whole thing works, or significantly going up anyway. And so this black swan event happened, right? The Luna thing was pretty fucking epic, like as a thing, right? But I mean, so was Mt. Gox. Bitcoin doesn't care, not really, right? Like, if you zoom out to any 4-year window, the chart's the same, right?
Yeah.
And just add a zero or whatever, right? To within an order of magnitude. And so, the people selling now, they're the same people that would be, kind of selling anything. But countries coming in, I mean, countries are going to be buying now, which is really messed up.
And you know what's crazy about this? So like the president, I think like he, quote unquote, like he always buys the dip, but like the dude is under right now. So like the president of El Salvador, like El Salvador is under on their Bitcoin investment right now.
Mm-hmm.
Not a good look. But
now it's right now. That's the thing.
He doesn't care
now, right? Like, if you bought it, this is my view anyway, right? Like, there's people that bought at 20,000 last cycle. I told them not to. I said, I'm selling at 17. It's going to go up a little bit higher. It's going to come back down. You're right. And of course, it goes back down to 3. There's people that that bought that top, like there is every time. If you just do nothing, right, you're up a bunch right now, right? So like over any, again, like 2, 3, 4 year period, you're fine. And
you're up. You're
whether you're MicroStrategy or anyone else, right? So like any kind of near term thing. Well, and I think this really speaks to the point I think you were trying to make, is like, it's everything's down, but like countries are still doing it, right? Well, and if your currency in like Zimbabwe or whatever, right? If your currency's been just impossible to maintain in a reasonable way, countries turning around and going, well, what if we just didn't? Like, what if we let this math currency do it instead, right? Like, what happens? And that's like a really, it's an interesting situation.
No, it's so fascinating. Like, it just blows my mind, because I remember like back in 2017, like the bull market, and like, with like, and like the ICO bust and everything like that. Like, I thought that was insane. And then like now you're talking about like countries adopting it. I'm just like, this is game theory actually playing out. Like, in our freaking lifetime, like we're gonna have like multiple like sovereign nations just like using Bitcoin as like the currency. I'm just like, this is beautiful. Like you want world peace, like here you go.
I mean, if anything's going to do it, right? Well, and of course, we're turning Uplift into a DAO, and we're going headlong into experimenting with this new way of human collaboration and governance, right? Yeah, and it's hard not to sort of think about every once in a while as we do this, that this is probably the future of how humans are going to self-govern. Period. I don't know how long that's going to take or whatever, but it feels really inevitable. Like, the old system is, it was revolutionary. Democracy itself, really good idea, right? Like, it did some amazing things, but now like, it's clear that its successor has been found, and it's just, the rest of the world is going to take some time to catch up to it. I mean, hell,
Yeah, it's like a few points. It's like that's awesome that you guys are doing that with the DAO. I wasn't planning on talking about this on the show, but since you brought it up, I'm sure you've heard about the Free Republic of Liberland, right?
I don't think I have.
Oh, dude, really? Okay, so anyways, like the Free Republic of Liberland is basically we found like territory that was like unclaimed by any country like in Europe, and like we claimed the territory like back in 2015, and we've been like being funded by Bitcoin, and we're building a DAO right now and like trying to make our own sovereign nation.
Hold on, I just pulled up the website. This is fucking fantastic.
Seriously, dude, where have you been?
I've been a little busy.
Man,
oh my god,
this is like old school, dude. This was, dude, like we founded this like back in 2015, bro.
This is good cake.
No, and actually, like because of Liberland, this is how I got, like I really got involved, like with like El Salvador, because when El Salvador adopted Bitcoin as legal tender, we're like, oh, cool. Because like, I mean, if you're trying to create like a sovereign country, like you need to like go out and talk to like other countries and like recognizing your country, so like you're actually like legit, and like the UN recognizes you, blah blah blah. That's a whole nother conversation. So we're like, yo, like these guys are orange pilled. We need to go down there and talk with the government. So like we went down there with like a whole like Liberland like delegation with like president, vice president, me, and like we talked to people in government and stuff like that. And that's kind of where like I got the idea. I was like, yo, a lot of people are moving down here. Yeah. And we also wanted to show that, like myself as like a Liberlander, so like that's what we call ourselves, like Liberlander. Yeah, that we're like we want to bring, like we want to like bring like people to El Salvador, money to El Salvador, and show like like we want to get business done in this country, and like we want to help this country out and be successful. And so like we had a representative for El Salvador, who's actually my co-founder. So El Salvador CIP is actually founded by 2 Liberlanders.
That is brilliant. Also, there are no countries yet with an embassy in the Uplift.
Dude,
let's solve that.
Dude, let's do this, because I know we have one in like Simonian space, and we were the first country to like do one there. And then we actually launched our own metaverse, by the way. So you guys need to check that out. I'll send you the link. But yeah, totally down to do an embassy there. That sounds sick.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, I'll donate some land and we'll get it done. That's too much fun.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I'll set it up. Also, I got to figure out how to become a citizen. Rock and roll.
Hey, you got a direct connection right here, man.
Right. All right. Cool. See, so cool beans. I need somebody to vouch.
Well, like
that's amazing. That's fun.
But yeah, dude, like all of this ties in, because like sure, like El Salvador is like Bitcoin, 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 Bitcoin. But like I think like 4 or 5 months ago, like the government was doing something with doing like microloans using like Solana.
Okay.
So I'm just like, that's cool. Like sure, like it's really, like they'll say it's all about Bitcoin and stuff like that, but like you got these other nation states that are adopting Bitcoin, and it's opening up the floodgates for like all of these other like, ecosystems.
That's how I see it, right? Like Bitcoin's just a gateway drug, right? Like once you figure out that you can, like, what is possible when you're running a token on a blockchain, that just the world opens up, right? Like I own a little bit of Bitcoin, but most of my stuff is everywhere else, because that's where all the action is, right? And then it's only a matter of time before countries start figuring that out.
Yeah. And I mean, like, this could be like controversial things and stuff like that, but like we're really seeing, like a world like, well, at least the world that I want to see is like we have like Bitcoin as kind of like the main currency, and replace like all these fiat currency. And of course, we're gonna have all these other tokens, but like, like Bitcoin's like the main currency. Like all these countries, like they're doing stuff on Bitcoin and Bitcoin. But like, if you have like some other use case, like, like DAO governance and stuff like that, yeah, like use your own token. But like, you're buying your tacos like with Bitcoin, type
with that
thing.
This is the thing, like having, and countries doing this, I probably would have not really believed that it was going to become like the sort of fiat replacement, right?
But yeah, it blew my mind.
Right? Yeah, like as like, kind of a gold analog reserve, like obviously it's a trillion times better than gold, but like that kind of thing, right? Like you're not going to be you're not going to be doing your daily stuff on it, but like, yeah, if you want to be, socking away or transferring large amounts of money or whatever, like Bitcoin's really good for that. Like it's sort of, designed
Yeah, like
for
it has its use case, like, there's
100%.
other use case
But
for
yeah,
other
like
things,
the whole
but,
idea
it
that
has its
like,
use case.
right, that you like get on the Lightning network, but then a country is supporting this, on purpose, and then getting it out as like point of sale capable, currency. I mean, that's huge, right? It's just,
Dude,
that
like
many
I've
more
done
people.
it. Like I've traveled down to like El Salvador, and like
That's
we're
cool.
buying stuff with like Lightning payments. Like we went to like Bitcoin Beach, and like they got Bitcoin stuff like everywhere. It's so funny. Like going down to El Salvador is like going to like a huge like crypto conference, because everywhere you go, it's just like Bitcoin, 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 Bitcoin.
That's awesome.
I'm just like, is this like a crypto convention, or is this just
nope? It's just a town. That's awesome.
And honestly, really reminds me of like Miami. It was like driving around like Miami here, like like you got like crypto stuff everywhere. Like I'm seeing like advertisements for like Algorand and like blockchain.com and like whatever like Floki meme tokens. And I'm like, this is strange. Like, where else can you find like this in the world? And it's like, well, the whole country of El Salvador is like this. You got Bitcoin stuff everywhere. And so it's just like, I feel like I'm like this big like Bitcoin convention. And I'm like, this is cool. Like, I feel like I'm around like my own people and stuff like that. And just like, I got involved with the space like back in 2015, and I just never thought we would be in a situation like this and how fast it's happening. And now like people are like seriously, considering like moving to a different country just because, like the government is like more accepting of like them, because, sure, like here in the US, like, Bitcoin is growing with like some people in government and everything like that. But like, you still have, every like 3-letter agency that's just like, trying to like regulate it in some way, and, like not doing the best job. And then like, especially here in the US, we have like the crazy like capital gains tax where we have to like report every single transaction. And it's just like all this kind of stuff. And then like El Salvador, it's like, come bring your Bitcoin. Like, we won't bother you. And it's
and
so cheap down there too.
The same thing. Yeah, that it's so clutch. It would be really interesting, I mean, getting the states to just get out of their own way. I mean, that's the thing. Like in Wyoming, we're setting up our DAO and LLC in Wyoming or whatever, right? And like they're basically tacitly saying like, the SEC has an opinion about what a security is, and but like this is a shared bank account, and so like we're going to be doing revenue sharing on our DAO token, right? And Wyoming's is like, yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, no, Wyoming's great. Like, like like there's like some states that are just like doing it right, like Wyoming and Texas and Florida and maybe like a few others that like maybe are trying. But I'm just like, but like still, like you have like this overarching, like federal government that like, like they're still calling the shots. And it's just like, dude, like life is short. I'd rather just like go to like a nice, beautiful beach and just like, interact with a government that actually, is accepting of me. Like now, like today, like,
right.
I don't want to like stay here in the US and like fight for 10 years and hope this happens.
Yeah,
happens. Like, like that's a long time in this. That's a long time in this industry. So I'm just like, dude, like get down to, like this Bitcoin country. And because like, to be honest, like here's the thing, Corey. This is like an experiment. Like this whole crypto industry is like one big experiment. You saw like Terra Luna. It was an experiment that just blew up in our face. Like I don't want this to happen like, to Bitcoin, because if it happens to Bitcoin, the whole industry is like, it's screwed. And so when you have like a nation state, going down this path, you don't want this to blow up in their face. You don't want this to fail. Like you don't want Bitcoin to go down to like $100 and then like they invested all this money and now like the country's even more broke. So, like I want to get as many Bitcoiners down there, as many Bitcoin crypto people, down there, because the people down there, like, they don't know what this is, man. Like the government's saying, hey, you have to accept this because it's legal currency. They have no idea what this is. So like, we need to go down there and like educate these people. Like, yo, here's a wallet. This is how you use the payment, because they don't have, because like, it's like 70, 80% of the population doesn't have like a bank account. All right. So it's like a cash-based economy.
Yeah.
And like they lost their currency like in the early 90s. Like they just been using like the US dollar.
Yeah.
And so like this is, you know, kind of like the first time where like the people as like a sort of like pride thing, like have their own currency. So like it's kind of like a pride thing where like they're really excited about it, but they have no idea what it is. They have no idea how to use it. And like so like this experiment, like it needs to like actually be successful. And so like if you really care about, you know, like this industry, like you need to move down there and like start like educating people down there. And just like it's nice, like place is cheap, like people are buying like beachfront property like with Bitcoin, and like the beaches there have like black sand, the waves, they're like 2 stories high. So like they have like Surf City there is kind of like their big advertisement sign. Like, dude, like as soon as you land, like there's like this big sign, this is like Surf City, and I'm like, this is cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's funny that it's in English, not Spanish, but you know, they know they know who they're marketing to.
Yeah, they know their target audience for sure.
Yeah, so it's just like, dude, we need to make sure like this is like successful. It was like, sure, we have like Central African Republic adopting Bitcoin and Tonga's planning on doing it, but dude, like we need like an Argentina, you know, we need like a Paraguay, we need like a Panama, you know, we need
like it's only a matter of time before this is a success in El Salvador, right? Like however it is now, right? And like crypto is going to go down for a minute, fine, right? Maybe we hit the bottom, maybe it does another leg down. 3 months from now, it's not going to matter, right? The sooner we do it, the better. And then we can start grinding our way back up to the next one. But like, you know, 3 years from now, at the next Bitcoin peak, everybody in El Salvador is going to look like a fucking genius, right? Dude, we know this.
Hell yeah.
And that, like, so the onboarding experience there, like suddenly I was like, why were we ever doing anything else? It's gonna be on everyone's mind, right? It's like this is
dude, the FOMO, dude,
100%.
like the nation state FOMO is going to be real, man.
Yeah,
it's going to be real.
Nation state FOMO. Show's over. It's it now.
Mic drop, boom, out.
Oh my god.
But dude, like
the whole idea that you can say that and it's like, nope, that's gonna happen. What if you told me in 2016, right? Like I first got to Bitcoin and crypto in 2016. If you told me that like countries were gonna be FOMOing in like 4 or 5 years later, I'm like, nah, too early, man. Like, maybe
too early, man.
Crazy
like,
talk.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, here we are.
Yeah. I mean, like we saw, you know, like huge corporations like Micro, like Strategy, you know, like do the stuff, and I thought like that was huge. Like, dude, companies are putting this reserves. Like, sure, maybe like 1 or 2%. Like, that's awesome. Tesla, you know, blah blah blah, whatever. And
yeah, every country,
and like now this like what do you have that's bigger than like a sovereign state?
Yeah, I mean, like multinational corporations, and like it's only a matter of time before they do it too.
Right, like it's just, you know, everyone is just going to experience like a massive amount of like FOMO.
Yeah,
and you know, and when you know, like when it comes to like this agency that like I've built, like it's kind of, you know, kind of goes through that, like people are going to start moving down to like El Salvador and be like, oh dude, I can just spend my Bitcoin and buy this and buy that. I can buy a house. I can do this. It's cheap. It's affordable, like great quality food, awesome fruit, like really awesome people that like want to learn. Like, dude, like here's the crazy thing. Before Bitcoin came around in like El Salvador, everyone was trying to leave that country, because it was just like absolute crap. And it was like, you know, like they had like a civil war like 30 years ago. And that's the reason why like their currency got destroyed. And everyone in El Salvador was just trying to get to the US. Like you had no other objective. So like when you're in your home country and you don't care about your home country, you're not positive, all you want to do is just get out and get to the US. Are you really going to care about like building up, you know, like your city, making it cleaning the roads, take, you know, blah, 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 you know, making sure the infrastructure is great? You're not going to care because you're just trying to get out.
Yeah.
So we're seeing for the first time where these people are like optimistic, and it was just crazy just going down there and like talking to the Uber drivers. And dude, like Uber drives, like they're so cheap to get from like one part of like the capital city to the other capital city. It's like $2 or $3. Like and it's like this is like a decent amount of money for these people, so like I'll tip them like $2 or $3,
right?
You know?
And just like you're just like, yeah, I love that. That's fun.
So it's like these people are like optimistic about their country now, like they're starting to become like prideful, and like it's just like this heartwarming thing.
Yeah.
And like you you know, because like you don't have that here in the US. Like people are like fighting like blah 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 blah, and it's just like these people are like for the first time, in like 30, 40, 50 years, like they're like optimistic about their country, man. Like that's huge. That's huge. Like, and so like this needs to be like this needs to happen. Like this needs to be like successful. So like we need to get Bitcoiners down there. We need them to actually, kind of like pump money into the economy, like give these guys jobs, try to like teach them how to be entrepreneurs.
So
we need
help
to
channel that optimism. It's like, man,
yeah,
it really, really hit me when you said that, because I could totally see that being the case. But just how powerful is that? Like to have gone through a generation or two, just not having any hope, right? And now to be pivoting that over to a real sense of optimism that you can work into. It's such a powerful thing, right? And anything we can do to help that. I mean, it becomes the case, right? Like El Salvador is great, and that's going to be successful, awesome, but it becomes precedent, right? If a country does this, and the Bitcoin and crypto community take advantage of that, and also benefit from it, and benefit the people that are in that scenario, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy for another dozen countries, and then it's 100, and then it's done.
Yeah, dude. Like, so like, here's like my rally cry, like, like you want this to happen. Here's your chance for it to actually happen, because like us here, like I grew up in the States, and I assume like you grew up in the States, or, like us in the Western world, like we've had it like pretty easy, but like we want the world to change to, like a Bitcoin standard, and start using blockchain technology and DAOs and all this kind of stuff. Like, this is our chance to like actually like do it. Like, it's showtime, baby. Like, we need to get the show on the road. And so like all we're trying to do, and like Corey, like, because like so many people have been trying to leave the country, like when we started up the immigration agency, like I was asking around, like, so do we have any competition?
You're like the only immigration
people, like people like thought we're crazy. Like, why are you setting up an immigration agency for people who want to move down to El Salvador? Like I'm talking to like the locals, and they're like, and I'm like, because people like are excited about this Bitcoin thing, and they want to come down, and they're like, and it just like blows their mind, because like their whole life they're trying to get out. Like they saw like El Salvador as a prison, and now like you have like people from like the Western world like trying to like move down, and it just blows their mind, and like you can see them like smile, like and like they're like, they're speechless. I'm like, it just warms my heart.
Yeah,
but it's cool that we don't have like much competition too.
Yeah, I mean, like as a business, like, right? Like yeah, pure like putting your business hat on, like, oh wait, oh shit,
like dude, we are like first to market this. Like this is really cool, and it's starting, to be like a few like other agencies like pop up, which is awesome. Like that's like that's cool. Like sure, like there's competition and stuff like that, but I'm just like, dude, like as many crypto people come down here, because like this, like this is like our new homeland, man. Like it is. Like I just really encourage people, like, go check it out. You arrive at the airport, first thing you'll see there is like a Bitcoin ATM. When you arrive at the airport, like, dude, that's cool. You'll see Bitcoin ATMs around the city, Bitcoin accepted everywhere, like, because I think you have to pay like a little like tourist fee when you land, and like you can pay that like in Bitcoin and stuff like that. So it's like, it's exciting, man. Like it's cool. It's cool. And there's just like so much opportunity, because like the country is growing. So like you think of like any type of like industry, you can really build up that industry there. Like real estate is already, honestly, like real estate prices have already gone up like 2 or 3x.
Wow.
Like it's crazy. Like it was like, we got like a real estate tour by a few like real estate agents when I was down there, and we were like checking out some houses on the beach, like beautiful houses, man. Like mansions and stuff like that. And they're like, yeah, this mansion like last year was 100,000, but they all anticipate, that there's gonna be like a FOMO of like Bitcoiners moving down, so now it's like 400,000. No joke. And I'm just like, and like these like Salvadorians, like they're serious, like 400,000. Like this is nice, and I know these Bitcoiners have money, and I'm like, Cool.
Dude, right? I mean, that's like 100%. Like that.
I can't
that's how
afford
it
this
should be.
now, but you know.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Indeed. I mean, yeah, just help, you know, a few thousand people move down there. And you're like, oh, well, cool. Might have to be 4 million
Yeah, so like it's a
or
good time.
4 Bitcoin. Yeah, I mean, like Bitcoin's going to 1 million. Like just like that, and that's gonna be a fun day.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, for some. For some, like all
For
these
some.
people down in El Salvador, you know, like they're selling you know, tacos or or like whatever, like coconuts, whatever, for a few sats here and there, and those sats are just gonna like 10, 20, 30x in value. You know, like they're making some good money. They're making some good money, like if they know it or not. You know, so like I'm always telling them, like, you gotta hodl, you gotta, like, I know you want to spend it, I know you want to sell it, but hodl it, man. Like, trust me, just, you know, or like sell, you know, of course, like to pay your bills and stuff like that.
Right. But like, so yeah, like if you're, you know, keeping 10%, you're basically dollar cost averaging as a course of business the whole time.
Yeah, and it's crazy.
Right? Like that, and that'll change lives. Like that's going to end up changing a lot of lives in El Salvador, period. Right.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal.
Dude, absolutely. Absolutely.
Cool. All right. I got to go to El Salvador now.
Dude, do it.
Yeah. For the record, I grew up in, I was born in Canada, but I've been down in the States for about 15 years.
Okay, so, cool. Yeah, I mean, if you're just like, you know, in Florida, it's a pretty short flight. Like you can probably get a direct flight, because when I was in Tampa, I literally took a direct flight from Tampa down to San Salvador. It was like 2.5 hours.
Nice. Yeah, I mean,
like you're so close. You're just like right across the Gulf.
100%. Yeah, no. Well, I'll hit you up before we do that. Like basically, like Uplift, we just got this back, so I think like for the next 6 months, my head's just gonna be, you know, on the grindstone, booting up some runway in that.
Right.
But
and also speaking of that, yeah, dude. Like also speaking of that, like there's like a few crypto companies that have already like moved like all their headquarters down there.
Yeah, you know, we're so entirely distributed, so we don't have a headquarters. But like, I mean, you know,
right.
In a couple of years, when we're 10 times as big, it might make sense. And I definitely don't want to have that here, right? Like that, you know, it makes so much more sense to have that, you know, whether it's in Portugal or Puerto Rico or El Salvador, right? Like that, you know, taking advantage of those areas in the world that are like just far more accepting, right? Like they want to be part of this future that we're all building, as opposed to just like fighting.
And cheaper, man, because like if you're, you know, it was like, especially like with your company, like if you get like runway and like, you know, like depending on like what your burn is, you know, you'll be able to like really conserve your burn if you're living in a country where like, you know, like food isn't, you know, like crazy expensive like it is.
Yeah, cost of living is like 20%.
Like cost of living is like going up crazy here. And I'm just like, dude, like I gotta get my family out. Like I can't afford this. Like Bitcoin's going down, food prices going up, and like, you know, I'm kind of like nomading around. So like I'm in Airbnbs and we're creating like crazy, and plus it's Miami. And so I'm just like, dude, like I can't afford this crap. It's like, so like I need to go to a place that is like more affordable. It's like, you know, so like, and that's another reason why like a lot of, well, not like a lot, but you know, like a few like crypto companies have started to move down there, you know, because of the cost of living. You know, you can get like a nice apartment for like $200-300 a month. You know, you go out and have like, you know, go to some of like the fanciest restaurants in all of El Salvador, and your food like $16 to $20. Like,
yeah, that's just
like it's good food. You know, it was like this is the second best restaurant in the whole country or something like that. And like,
and it's like it's $20 a plate. You're like, all right, well, okay, that's
awesome. Meanwhile, here it's like, you know, like
plus.
Right. And it's only gonna go up. And sometimes like the food isn't even like that good.
Yeah.
Because like anytime I go to like downtown Miami, it's like, all right, I'm just gonna like write off $100.
Yep, that's the way.
Yeah,
man. Well, thank you so much, Joey, for coming on the show.
No, thank you for you like inviting me. Like,
100%.
This was awesome.
I want to have you back. And seriously, like Liberland Embassy in the Uplift has to happen. And we should probably get the immigration thing, you know, a plot as well, just because I mean we'll start doing events and all that.
Dude, that's cool. Yeah. So they can write you you know, kind of like an article like El Salvador CIP opens up an immigration center, you know, like in the UpLifters world.
I mean,
that's cool.
It's what we
I never thought of that either.
Right.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
Win-win.
Awesome, man. All right. I got to roll because I got to get some stuff done before my next meeting. But it's seriously, Joey, come back anytime like that. Like, I think I want to keep doing this so that we can keep getting the word out about it. And you know, maybe we can live stream an episode from El Salvador in a few months. Yeah,
that'd be sick, dude.
All right,
that'd be sick.
Cool beans. All right, is there anything else you want to make sure everybody knows before we break?
Yeah, just quick. If you guys are interested in actually making the move to the Bitcoin country, if you go to El Salvador CIP.com, we have all of our information there. Our hottest product right now is kind of like the digital nomad visa. It's pretty cheap to do that. And as soon as like the law comes out for the passports, you know the place to go because we're all ready to go.
Awesome.
So
that's righteous. Yeah, when that comes out, just like anytime that.
Oh, that's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, just get back on the show because I think people are gonna probably want to know about that stuff. So we'll have.
Yeah, like I can't wait to get like a Bitcoin passport.
Right? You know I mean that just
like this country actually like cares about my values and just like thinks the way I do.
Yeah,
and is affordable.
When does it get to the point where like Bitcoin passports start getting recognized in multiple countries? That's gonna get weird.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, with like how doom and gloom, you know, the world looks, I can't be more optimistic than I am like today.
Right?
Just like, especially in this community, just like with everything that you guys are building and everything like this whole industry is building. Like, sure, you know, like we'll have, you know, crazy events like Terra Luna, but like still like our community is just getting stronger and stronger every single day. And like, we are the future.
Yeah. On
let's build that.
I've been feeling exactly the same way, like almost to the point where it's weird, right?
I'm trying to uplift our spirits here.
It worked. No, it's good. But for real though, like capturing that optimism in a bottle, I think like this entire industry has kind of always been that, right? And, you know, the people that are building, you know, like people trading up and down or whatever, getting all, you know, crazy about that in the short term, like that, have fun with that, right? You know, I'm a recovering trader myself. I get it. But the people that are building in this space all kind of have that. Like, yeah, the market does whatever the fucking market's going to do. It doesn't matter. We're building the future, right? So get on board, get the fuck out of the way, right? It's too much fun. So cool. All right, Joey, very good to meet you, man. And we'll talk to you again really soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Corey.
All right, cheers, brother.